Hi, today we will be learning about least common multiples and how to use prime factorization and listing multiples to help us find the LCM or least common multiples of two or more whole numbers. So let's get started. The vocab that will really help you be successful here includes LCM, least common multiple, multiples, and whole numbers. The definitions are written out for you. Pause the video and write them on your notes form. Then start the video back again. Okay. Let's start with the problem of trying to find the least common multiples of 6 and 8. We're going to use the list of multiples method first. So, to start, all we have to do is make a list of the multiples of these two whole numbers. Now, you can use your multiplication table if you're a little rusty, but hopefully you've got these on the top of your tongue. Let's go for it. Multiples of 6. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48. That's enough right now, but we could go on forever. Now, let's list some multiples of 8. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64. Again, we could go on forever. Now, let's find the common or the multiples that both 6 and 8 have and circle them. Okay, we found that both the multiples of 6 and 8 have 24 in common and 48, just based on the ones that we've listed so far. Let's circle those. We're trying to find the least common multiple. So 24 is less than 48. So the least common multiple of 6 and 8 is 24. Now, let's use the prime factorization method to find the LCM or least common multiple of 6 and 8. Remember, the key here is to get to that multiplication equation of the prime factorization. Let's start with the LCM of 6. I'm going to go ahead and use a factor tree for 6. It's pretty simple and straightforward. 2 times 3 is 6. Both of those are prime, so I'll circle them and I can come up with my equation for 6 equals 2 times 3. I'll go ahead and use the ladder method for finding the prime factors of 8. So we have to start on a prime on the outside, so we'll start with 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 4 isn't a prime factor, so we'll put another rung there, and we know that 2 times 2 is 4. So our prime factorization equation for 8 becomes 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, let's put both of these prime factorization equations for 6 and 8 next to each other and compare. Both of them have the factors of 2 in common. Since they have 2 in common, I'm only going to use this 2 once and then take the remaining numbers and multiply them to formulate my LCM equation or my least common multiple equation. My least common multiple equation becomes 2 from the 2 that they have in common. I'm going to take the remaining factors of 2 times 2 times 3 to come up with my equation. Now, all I have to do is simply multiply these together to find my LCM. So 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 3 is 24. My LCM for 6 and 8 is 24, just the same as what we found out using the list of multiples method. Okay, it's your turn. What I'd like you to do is pick either the list of multiples method or the prime factorization method and find the LCM or least common multiple of 3 and 12. Good luck! I know you can do it. Pause the video here, do your work, and turn it back on when you're ready to check your work. Okay, let's start with the list the multiples method. We're going to list the multiples of 3 and 12. Let's start with 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. That gives us quite a few to get started. Now, let's list the multiples of 12. 12, 24, 36. Wait, I don't have to go any further. I've already found 2 multiples they have in common. They have the 12s in common and they have the 24s in common. Since I am looking for the least common multiple or the smallest common multiple, I know that 12 is less than 24. So my LCM or least common multiple of 3 and 12 is 12. Okay, let's go ahead and try out the prime factorization. So 3, I'm not even going to bother doing anything other than putting 3 equals 3 because we know that the prime of 3 is 3 times 1 and we don't use the 1, so we only need the 3. All right, now with the 12, I'll go ahead and use the tree method, and let's start with 3. So 3 times 4 is 12. Well, 3 is a prime factor, so we don't have to go farther there. Now, 4 isn't a prime factor, so we're going to have to factor that one out. 2 times 2 is 4. So our prime factorization equation for 12 is 2 times 2 times 3. Okay, so if we match these equations up, what we're going to do is find that the prime factorization of 3, the prime factorization of 12 have the 3 in common. Okay, so I'm only going to use what they have in common once to create my LCM equation or my least common multiple equation, which is a combination of their prime factorization equations. So we come up with the LCM of 12 as 2 times 2 times 3. So when I multiply this together, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 3 is 12. I find out again that the LCM of 3 and 12 is 12. So it doesn't matter which method we use. We find that the answer is the same both ways. So hopefully this is the answer that you got. If you did, pat yourself on the back. You've done a great job today. Now, if you had a little problem with this, go back and figure out what happened. Perhaps you listed your multiples in the incorrect order, or maybe we had a little problem with multiplication. In any case, go back, find your mishap, fix it, and then feel really good about your effort today because you know what? You made your brain grow. And isn't that what it's all about?